Deadrock gave us another chapter, Chapter 8, and it was another banger. It sets up the fight of the arc. We get some introductions to other characters' abilities, primarily ZELECIA, which I honestly am going to see this later on in the chapter. She is now my new favorite. We end up basically getting potentially some foreshadowing towards the Labyrinth and God. We even get to catch up with the rest of Class F and to see what exactly they're up to. And all I know is this chapter has kept me incredibly excited. I laughed and I was hyped. And from Chapter 1, it does not seem like the hype train is going to end anytime soon. But before we get right into this review, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really helps and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel and you want to see more. I've been really enjoying Deadrock and I can't wait till we get to a point where I could comfortably make other Deadrock content outside of the chapter reviews, because believe you me, I want to make some more Deadrock content in the future. But with that out of the way, let's get right into this chapter. So Chapter 8 of Deadrock, titled Yakuto vs. Cougar. And we do actually get their fight in this chapter, or at least the beginnings of it. But let's just start off where last chapter left off. In the last chapter, we met ZELECIA and her reveal that she was actually Chago the bird, and that she is a black wizard. That is her root. And we end up meeting Cougar, the seemingly strongest character in the Deadrock school, the strongest student, and he kidnapped Frey. And now, after making some noise, the library Curse Velocity turned into a labyrinth. And so now, we are back here in the labyrinth. As we get a full-on page showcasing at the start of the chapter, the vastness of the library as a labyrinth. As Yakuto's wondering what's going on, but it was a library just a second ago. And it is still a library. ZELECIA asks how they're going to find Frey now, and especially the book on God's weakness. Yakuto says, for right now, let's just worry about finding Frey first. Hine says that he's going to try and break the bookshelves, so he uses his hammer and begins to smash. However, he then begins to crack up and he basically destroys himself, shocking Yakuto and ZELECIA, which I find hilarious. And I like how Yakuto's like, okay, don't worry, we just put them right back together as we get a morphed, blobbish, disfigured image of what Yakuto pictures Hine being put together. And I was like, is that what you call what you did to me last time? Because remember, Hine was destroyed in the entrance exam and Yakuto had to put him back together. And it was a shit job, let's be honest. And I like how they keep accidentally stepping on pieces of him. But yeah, Hine just says, look, I'll be able to fix myself later, go find Frey, as Yakuto and ZELECIA end up running off. And continuously, they keep stepping on Hane's pieces. We then cut back to Cougar and second in command, seemingly Jack, as it seems like they were also caught in the labyrinth as well. But Cougar's not really listening, as he's just fawning over Frey as the little ornament type thing that Jack turned her into. Cougar then asks Jack to turn her back, and she is then brought back to normal size, but she is unconscious. As well, Cougar begins to be a creep and begins to seemingly kiss her on the cheek, or at least sniff her and be like, ah, Lady Luck has alightened upon me. I've been granted a most glorious fortune. I want this guy to be punched in the face. Look, I'm going to be honest right here. Cougar does do something pretty dumb, but also gives us a good opportunity for Frey. He essentially tells Jack to guard her while he goes off to find Yakuto and ZELECIA and kill them essentially. So here's the thing. Cougar does the one big bad guy thing that he should seemingly never do, and that is leave someone who he has captured unattended. Well, obviously Jack is his subordinate and he probably holds his own in a fight, but this gives Frey the opportunity to wake up and kick some ass. Because look, I liked Frey from Chapter 1. I love her battle-crazy personality, and I like how she's always up for a fight, and she seems pretty strong herself. Which is why I was disappointed last chapter where she was essentially sucker punched, more or less, and kidnapped. So I kind of hope that she breaks herself out of the situation and joins up for the initial fight of this arc. Which I think, if things go well, this will be a team fight as we keep going through this chapter. We're going to cut back to Yakuto and ZELECIA as they're going through the library, as they're wondering what's going on. And they're trying to find a way to find Frey. Yakuto begins to feel like they got turned around and that they were in the exact same spot as they were. ZELECIA says that she remembers the books that they saw and that they were mystery novels. She grabs a book from the shelf, falls onto the floor, and it is a dirty book, and apparently, why is it even in a school? But they then run into a couple of, well, eager and, let's say, idiotic students that just happen upon them. And, well, they are Cougar's minions, seemingly, as they are a hassle ZELECIA just gives a cocky smirk and says, "I'll show off my powers then," which is something I've been really eager to see since her introduction. And I like how these minions are just saying, "We're going to catch you guys, we're going to get on Cougar's good graces," all that stuff. ZELECIA then takes a step forward, looking kind of pissed, and says, "That lion didn't even spare me a glance, even though I'm a girl too. That pisses me off." So I have the exact same expression Yakuto has, as it seems like ZELECIA is what they get kind of offended that Cougar didn't even consider her pretty or something like that and just went straight to Frey, I guess. I mean, it is what it is. But hey, it's funny. And I just like her pissed off look. She says, "You're all dead meat," as she then just gets engulfed in a dark shroud, freaking out the rest of the classmates, and a dark demon hand seemingly crushes them into the bookshelves, going one after the other, as we see ZELECIA from behind being reformed from her head down from this dark mist, as we get a full 2-page spread of ZELECIA in her black wizard robe attire. And let's be honest, she is full on Zeref right now. Even though this is more of a stealth-like full body suit with the robes of Zeref and the collar of Zeref, essentially, this is literally just Zeref, gender bent at this point. Hey, I'm not opposed to this. ZELECIA has an entirely different personality and seemingly different power sets. I just like the callback to Zeref and that Majima just going all in and being like, "Yeah, I'm connecting her to Zeref and just visuals seemingly like that." And people still want to say that this is connected to Fairy Tail in some way, and again, there's always the possibility Majima will throw some kind of wild card that it is connected to, well, Fairy Tail in some way, shape, or form. I wouldn't be opposed to it as long as it would end up making sense at the end. But yeah, ZELECIA reveals her full black wizard garbs, looking badass as hell, and I cannot wait to see more of her in this, because this is literally just her in her battle mode. I just want to see her go all out, no toying around with fodder. She easily gets rid of Cougar's minions, as I like how Yakuto is just in awe of her strength, and ZELECIA just smirks at him and says, "A black dragon and a black wizard. We might make a good team." I like how Yakuto's kind of like, I think, dumbfounded from this, but I also kind of think this is also kind of funny because Majima is basically saying like, "Hey, remember how essentially Zeref and Aklogia were both villains but they were on opposing sides? What would happen if they teamed up?" That would actually be a really cool what-if story if Aklogia and Zeref actually teamed up. That would be like, they would be basically untouchable. Like, literally, they would be unstoppable if we really think about it. This is not a Fairy Tail video. This is a topic for another time. I'm sidetracking here. But yeah, now they have all these students seemingly dead or unconscious, and now they're wondering how to find Frey. ZELECIA just stomps on one of the guy's basically dead heads and just says, "Too bad Mikoto's not here. She could have turned them into zombies and they could have gotten the information out of them." And classic anime cliche, someone's name is mentioned and that character just sneezes. So we cut back to Mikoto, Hine, and Ryzen as they begin talking. And they end up asking why she's always basically barefoot. And this is actually really cool information about her power set. She says that she's barefoot because she absorbs power from the ground. And this is the most convenient way for her to gather energy to use her powers. So this is an in-world reason why she does not wear shoes or slippers or whatever. So I like Majima's giving a good explanation on why she does this. And this could be foreshadowing to her being in a specific area that could really have her cut loose. And this could also explain how she kind of felt uneasy at the Battle Coliseum, because there was probably just so much energy and darkness in the area that it just made her uncomfortable and just dizzy. And since she absorbs a lot of that through her feet, that actually makes a lot more sense as to why this affected her so much so quickly. Hine is just sitting there, just thinking to himself, thinking to the moment in Chapter 1 where Yakuto essentially just carried him through the exit of the entrance exam as he says, "You saved us back there, so I owe you one. Let's get into Dead Rock together." As Hine just like, "God damn it, you as he then walks out of the classroom. We cut back to ZELECIA and Yakuto as she figures out the key to the labyrinth. She goes up to the bookshelf and realizes that the library is designed to show you whatever books you want to read. And Yakuto obviously brings up the fact, wait, does that mean those dirty books that we found? I like how ZELECIA is just embarrassed, literally just telling him to shut up. So maybe she just has like a freaking dirty mind. That's something that she had in the back of her mind. Wants to just, maybe that's what she does in closed doors. That's actually kind of hilarious. But yeah, that would be funny if she was the pervert of the group. But anyway, She goes on to say, basically just ask where Frey is. Yakuto's like, there's no way this thing will end up showing us what it is, as Alicia just pulls out a book and it says, Frey's location. As this literally shocks the two of them and how dumbfounded they are, they open up the book and it is literally a map saying where Frey is. However, someone off screen says, I don't know about that, as he throws down in the book, saying basically Chiki knew Kid's location, showcasing that Cougar has appeared, as he also had the exact same idea, as he, like he said previously, which I actually forgot to mention apparently, he knows this labyrinth like the back of his hand, so he knows how this whole thing works. So he literally found the book asking for their location, and so he found it, and now he's about to face off against them, which I find very cool. I like how he has this cool and confident sense of swagger, and we'll see later on, he does have the confidence to back it up. Yakuto is obviously pissed, staring him down. And I like how Zelecia's like, baddies like you guys should really not really be in a library. You shouldn't be hanging out in a library at all. That's very not out of character. But Cougar says a very interesting piece of dialogue. He says, I come here because God doesn't come near this place. Meaning that this might be a blind spot for God, or maybe he doesn't care about this place. I did find something on Twitter that someone said that maybe the eyeball at the top of the labyrinth is actually God's eye, so he doesn't come near there, because he can actually see what's going on in the library just passively. That is a cool theory. But it could just mean maybe it has something to do with his weakness, and that's what Yakuto thinks as well. Hopefully we get more into this as we move on. But Cougar charges up a punch, and Yakuto dragonifies his right arm so he can counter with his own dragon fist. And the two of them clash, and Yakuto notices a difference in their strength as he is then pushed back by Cougar. Even ZELECIA is shocked by this, as Cougar just says, interesting power you got there, but you're no match for a red lion. As he shows him his corpse brilliant, as he just flexes off his shirt and turns, I believe, bright red. He is a red lion, so I presume he's just turning very bright red. He then punches Yakuto into the ground and kicks him off to the side. And Yakuto begins to say, it's not that I can't use my power. He's just that strong, as he just gets punched back in the head with a really big blow by Cougar. And I like how Yakuto's actually getting an actual challenge right now, like an actual challenge against another student. And so far, Cougar is backing up that he is the strongest in the school. Now, remember, Yakuto is weaker. He only has the power in his right arm. So it's very possible that if he had his full power, he would have stood more of a chance on his own. Yakuto is knocked to the ground as ZELECIA begins to basically try and go back into her battle mode. But as she conjures a dark demon hand to attack Cougar, he catches it and then throws her off to the side. ZELECIA is in her battle mode, but she wasn't able to hit him at all, showcasing that he definitely has more experience in fights, in that he couldn't get caught off guard by ZELECIA like the minions did, so she's going to have to fight a bit smarter now. But anyway, Cougar goes up to Yakuto and is about to hit him with a very powerful punch. But it is then, in another 2-page spread, blocked and encased in ice as Hine appears to save Yakuto. As Hine just says, my debt is paid now, and this shocks the two of them. And I just like how ZELECIA just calls Hine doggy. She's a cat girl, and she just calls him a doggy. That's funny to me. I don't know why, but that is funny. And if you say otherwise, then fine. It's not funny to you. I don't really care. I like it. Anyway, Cougar says, little Master Hine? As Hine just says, long time no see, Cougar. As the chapter ends with Yakuto and ZELECIA being like, wait, they know each other? So yeah, that's the end of Dead Rock Chapter 8. Another good chapter. We got some funny comedic moments. We got to see ZELECIA actually fight a bit, take out some fodder, and showcase her awesome battle mode as the black wizard that she is. Hine shows up to save Yakuto from getting hit a devastating blow. These Cougar and Hine know each other somehow, primarily maybe in a master-disciple or master and servant role perhaps, and we might actually have to dive into Hine's past in the following chapter. Hine is out of the fight for now. Hopefully he comes back together to join them in this actual battle, and Frey is left still unconscious, guarded by Jack. I still hold out hope that she will regain consciousness and then take out Jack in order to fight on her own and join the rest of the group. It would be really cool if this arc, this little mini arc, ended with basically all of Class F teaming up to take on Cougar, if he really is that strong. Or literally just Hine fighting him on his own. Either way, I'm excited to see what happens next. We got some good world building. ZELECIA is amazing. She is best girl for me right now. Let's see if that changes again. I'm flip-flopping between her, Mikoto, and Frey. God damn it. But right now, ZELECIA is the best right now. And I cannot wait to see her going full power completely and improve in her fighting style. But that's really all I got to say about this chapter of Dead Rock. It was great. Good foreshadowings. Some really nice pieces of information and lore dumps. And Hine shows up to save the day. ZELECIA fights as a badass. But what do you guys think of this chapter? What did you think of everything that we saw here, and how do you feel about ZELECIA, Hine, and just everything going on in this arc in general? And do you think ZELECIA is the secret pervert of the group? Leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and if you haven't already, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell for updates on future videos. It really helps, and it shows you guys enjoy the content I make here on the channel, and shows you want to see more. Now with all that said and done, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have an awesome day.